Is there an open garbage thing?
I am here with nobody apparently. Two of the jurors and there one cat and one baby on the way, and we're gonna discuss the merits of the final
Hello,
two.
everybody.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, Big Brother.
Now on Big Brother Cheesecake 7, Chocolate Heaven.
Chocolate.
Go! Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 7, Chocolate Heaven. It's day 83 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and these people don't even know who the final head of household was or who they chose to evict. Who will it be? We'll find out shortly. And what will the jury members say when they find out? We'll also find out shortly. But first, the jury and Brazil and Nicole and I overwhelmingly voted for Friday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to be the time for the jury roundtable, and I was so excited, and then two people showed up. So, which is ironic because this is the final two that literally the entire alumni and fans were screaming that they wanted to see in the final two all season long, and then it didn't happen. I wonder why, Brooke. No, I'm just kidding.
This could not be different.
You're muted, Brooke.
Which might be a good thing because she's not happy. Anyway, so Callum has been going through a rough patch, so I'm not going to push him too much. The kitty is so cute. Rayanne has a date, which I forgive. You know, I would, depending on the org, I would potentially miss the final for Cock. So it depends. It depends on the org. And then, like for Evan, like yeah, if Evan was like, "Let's go now," I'd be like, "Bye, Nicole." But anyway. So, oh, he's right there. Good.
Well, he has his headphones on, but like he heard his name, so he just like turned around, like, "What's happening?" Nothing.
And then
Absolutely.
Jacob, same thing. So anyway, is Jacob right there too?
No, not yet.
Oh, that's a shame. Okay, so Rayanne had a date. Kennedy's working, but she said she's going to be here around 11, and I hope I'm actually gonna. You know what? Let me just really, really quickly.
I hope Kennedy comes. I love Kennedy.
Sorry, live TV.
Thank God for Rhonda's unlimited Zoom.
Don't you? Yeah. Yeah. Oh yes. Thank you so much, Rhonda, for your unlimited Zoom. Much better sponsor than Rai last season, who decided to just take over last season and be like, "I'm gonna list the reasons why Steven sucks and why you should all vote for Corey to win." Yeah, it's true.
Just adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah,
It wasn't weird at all.
yeah. Okay. So anyway, where the hell was I? Okay, so Kennedy's working, but she might join us. Bridget has a family thing. She sent questions, and
That's it.
Rayanne did send questions. Okay, and we're waiting for one other person. So I will ask the four of you. Who do you think won the final head of household? You know it's not Owen because he lost parts 1 and 2. Who do you think was evicted? And who do you want to see evicted? Who should I put on the spot first? Brazil.
Brooke.
Oh.
Aw.
Okay, Nicole.
I think Michael won. Wait. Okay. I don't know. I think Jenna was evicted. Somehow I don't know. We got there. I think Jenna was evicted.
Okay.
Andrew, can we know what the part 3 was? Is it what I think it is?
Of course, yes.
So it's like what the jury. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so Nicole, you think Jenna was evicted, and you think Michael won HOH is what you said. Okay, Brazil?
I think Michael won, and I think Owen was evicted.
Okay. Is that what you want, by the way? two of you?
I'm torn. I mean, I feel for Michael because he hasn't made it to a final yet. But I also want Jenna to win because she's a girl and I'm the last girl to win. And it's been this is the third season. So, and I'm a little bit torn about Owen because of the whole should have been voted out but wasn't. But so yeah.
I want either Jenna or Owen to win because I want to win the draft and I don't care about anything else.
Excellent. Okay, Javier, go ahead.
I think because of the comp, it's a toss-up between Michael and Jenna, who won, because I think it requires your social game has to be very good in order to win that comp. And both of their games were very good. I would love to see Owen join the call so I can have my "I told you so" moment. But I don't think he's getting evicted.
So
I can see Michael. I can see Michael bringing Owen, and Jenna will definitely bring Owen. So yeah, it's either. I think it's going to be Michael.
Okay.
I wanted to be Owen.
Okay. And Brooke.
I think Michael won. I think he sent Jenna to us, but I'd love to see Owen.
Okay. So I will now reveal the final member of the jury.
All I see is vagina.
Stand by.
Andrew's nightmare. There we go.
No.
So Brooke actually called it. Michael did win the final head of household in a tiebreaker question. And Michael decided to evict Jenna.
That's what I guessed also.
Oh, sorry.
Hey. Oh, shit.
Jenna, no.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Jenna is the seventh and final member of the jury.
No, Jenna.
I know. I didn't think it was gonna happen
No.
either. You're gonna
I'm actually shocked right now.
everything. You're gonna hear it all. Nobody knows what my game is.
And I totally forgot what I was going to say, but yeah. So Michael won in the tiebreaker. Oh, that's what I was going to ask. Brazil, was yours a tiebreaker? No, right? Yeah, I didn't think so. So yeah, it was two tiebreakers in a row. So 6 and 7, and you came very, very close, but were evicted. So from a production standpoint, I am interested in this final two because I think this will be a relatively close fight. Now, I did say, and Brazil, you kind of mentioned it, I did say to Jenna on yesterday's episode, which you haven't watched yet, that I actually think she would have had a fighting chance because there would have been 4 girls in the jury. And there's a chance if she said the right things at the end that there could have happened. But we'll never know. So I'm now going to bring in our final two. Congratulations, Owen and Michael.
Congrats, both of you.
Nice shirt,
Hi.
Owen.
Thank you.
Looking sharp.
And
I'm in Florida, so
When in Rome.
Michael is having technical.
Florida.
There we go. Okay,
yeah, Mike.
so here's how this is going to work. Owen and Michael, you will have the chance to make opening statements of a maximum of 7.5 minutes. I was 10 last season and it was too long. So 7.5 minutes is your max. Michael, you will get to decide who, as the head of person who won head of household, who gets to go first, and that person will go last in the closing statements. Each of the jurors will then have up to 7.5 minutes to ask a question or make comments. I do have questions from everybody except Callum, who unfortunately did not submit anything. For those who are not here, and then those who are here will of course have the full 7.5 minutes, and then you will have 5 minutes to make a closing statement. So, Michael, do you wish to go first or second?
My first question is it just the 3 jurors? Everybody else isn't going to make it?
I have questions from Rayanne and Bridget, and Kennedy said she's leaving work. She said she's coming. I will
Okay.
update. Yeah.
They talk so much shit online and they can't even show up.
I know.
Interesting.
So I've decided that I'm going to go first for the opening statement.
Okay. So whenever you're ready.
So this is just such a very important moment for me. I've played about 25 different orgs and live games. I've been the final cut 5 times, and until now, I have never made a final. This is the first final that I am ever going to be in a game that I've been in. I've always been I've sat on the jury side so many times that I think the first thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands is that I know that I didn't play a perfect game, that there has to be a sense of humility from this side of the game. Having made the finals is really an amazing accomplishment, but I want people to understand that I know I wasn't perfect in playing this game. I did a lot of things right, I feel like, in making it to this final for me. I think that the first thing that has to be recognized is making it through the first 3 weeks of this game. Winning that temptation challenge and being the auto nom for the first 3 weeks of the game was a huge debit in my column to start off with. I was lucky enough that for week 1, Tom chose to use the veto on me. And in week 3, I managed to win the veto and took myself off the block. So for those first 3 weeks, I only sat on the final block 1 time. I was also nominated by Kilby, took myself off the block that week by winning the veto. And then when Owen was Willy Wonka, he put me up on the block as well. We thought it would be fun as a way to just kind of distract people from thinking that we might actually be working together at that point in the game. So I was up nominated 5 times, but I actually only sat on the block as a final nominee for 2 of those. I got a total of 2 votes against me in the entire game, which is the exact same number that Owen got in this game. We both received 2 votes over the course of the entire game for us. I come out of this with 7 wins across all the competitions as well. I played in 7 veto competitions and I won 4 of them. I have 3 HOHs to my name as well, and I won them at times that were very critical to winning them. I won and had the opportunity to take out Kilby. I won at the final 4, and obviously just now at the final 3, taking that really crucial final HOH. I think that if I hadn't won that HOH, you would be looking at Owen and Jenna up here instead of me and Owen. I think that regardless of how this came out, Owen would have been in this final 2 because I was going to bring him and Jenna was going to bring him. Why did I bring Owen? Because of the way that I play these games. I've been a final cut 5 times because I play these games as a super loyal player. And I hate to say it, I'm a nice guy. When I talk to people, I'm about making genuine relationships with people. I want to know everybody that played this game outside of this game afterwards. So I take my time and I really do want to get to know it. So people tend to cut me because they're afraid to sit next to me in a final 2. But I couldn't, in good conscience, win the final 2, go to the final 2 without taking the person that I made the only final 2 deal with in the game back on day 1. I told Owen on day 1 that I would take him to the end when we clicked right off the bat. And he came up with the name, but in the end, we were the teddy bear picnic together. So I couldn't play a game that was about loyalty and about being a good person without honoring that deal. Some people, and then when it came down to it, when we were watching the extra whips, Owens and my name were the ones that came up the most in terms of who do you think should or will win this game? Our names were said more often than anybody else's during the extra whips episodes for us. I know that I talk about genuine relationships, and I can say that with every member of the jury, I made an actual attempt to make a genuine relationship with every single person that's here in this jury. There were 2 people that I feel like I didn't get as close to as I would have liked to. I tried, but we just never found the footing to find a great relationship. And that's Rayanne and Bridget, who I think are wonderful people, but they just weren't part of my long-term game plan. When we had gotten to the double eviction week and Stephanie went home, that was when everything really clicked into high gear for me. I really was focusing on maintaining the relationships. From day 2, there was the Early Bird Alliance, which was me, Owen, Jenna, and Stephanie. We came together on day 2 and we stuck together all the way to the end. I couldn't have imagined coming to the end with anybody but the 2 of them from that day 2 alliance. Now, I don't want anybody to think that that discounts any of the other relationships or other alliances that I was part of, such as Paradise/Paradise Lost, which was actually all 4 of the Early Bird players plus Bridget. But when I put Bridget up as a backdoor nominee, she just left the group and didn't even listen to what we had to say. I was in a Sweet Little Mysteries alliance, which was me, Kennedy, and Callum, because we all know each other in real life. Callum has been to my home and stayed with me for a week in New York. And actually, during the course of this game, Kennedy has come and visited me 3 times. We played 2 vetoes in separate rooms at my apartment together. And Kennedy is one of the 3 people that I'm very proud to consider one of my org children. So I love her to death. I was part of the Lady Marmalade, which was me, Brooke, Kennedy, and Ronnie. And then, of course, to me, the one that was most important at the end was the family. Me, Jenna, Owen, Javier, and Brooke. Those alliances really are what helped me get to the end. I was part of voting out every single person that sat in this game. The only people that I didn't vote for, I was either on the block or it was the double elimination. So I voted for Shawnee, Ronnie, Tom, Kilby. I did cast a vote for Callum, Bridget, Rayanne, Javier. Those were otherwise I was not part. If I wasn't on the block or I wasn't HOH, I helped send people home. I think that what I played was an amazing social game. I can sit down and talk to you about everybody who's in here. How much time do I have left, Andrew?
30 seconds.
Okay. I think I could sit here and tell you something about every person that's in this game, except for Shawnee and Cly, who everybody will just go, who?
I don't know.
So I think I played an amazing game. I think that I deserve to be here. I think I deserve your vote to win this game. So please consider that. I look forward to your questions. I hope I can answer your questions fully, and I will answer them honestly. So thank you very much for your time.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. And Owen, your opening statements.
It's a very difficult speech to follow, but I'll do my best. So first of all, I want to start off by saying that I would not be here if it wasn't for every single one of you and every single one of the people on the jury, even the people who voted me out. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. We know who we're talking about. A lot of you are probably wondering about the whole, like, me and Jenna know each other. It's pretty common knowledge. We do know each other. Jenna and I played together in Backyard Big Brother. That's how we know each other. I think it was overplayed how well we know each other. I have to honestly say that throughout this game, I actually got to know her in a way that I hadn't previously. And that can be said for every single other person here. That can be said for Michael. That can be said for Brooke. That can be said for Javier. That can be said for Rayanne, Bridget, Kennedy. I mean, Callum was a little bit difficult to talk to at times, but even still, I feel like I got to know him pretty well. And I think a lot of people saw me as this comp beast, as this strong player. But at the end of the day, I think my real strength was being patient and my social game. I think that I got a lot of heat throughout this whole season. Every extra whip, someone was saying my name. People were coming after me. I mean, it was very hard at times. There were times where people were even throwing my names around in the org group. And I think my biggest strength of all is that instead of taking that to heart, instead of reacting right away, I was patient. I took every bit of information that I managed to gather throughout this game, and I used it, to its full potential. From what I gather, I don't think the first HOH in Big Brother Cheesecake has much of a history of making it very far. The very first, I mean, I've only ever played Backyard Big Brother, and the first time I played it, I was the first HOH, and I didn't make it that far. And I wanted this time, when I got that power, to make sure that I learned from my mistakes last time, and I used it as a true opportunity to leverage that power into getting to know people. Now, I know I have hurt people probably in this game. I know that I have done things that probably have made people feel betrayed, and for that I truly do apologize. I did not come into this game wanting to hurt anybody, or you know, I'm not here to play the villain. But in that first week, I had a lot of people come towards me, and I had a lot of people offer alliances. And I think Ronnie said it in his extra whip. If someone offers you an alliance, do you say, "Oh no, sorry, I already have my final two. I already have my final three"? No, you don't. And I kept my alliances as close as I possibly could for as long as possible. And I think if it wasn't for those connections that I formed, I would have been much more unanimously voted out during that double eviction. I think it's amazing that despite the 2 mistake votes, I came out with only 1. And I remember when I lost the veto, I said to Andrew in the DR, like, I think this is the end of my game. And I was very down. And instead of being down, I instead kicked myself in the butt and I started campaigning. And I never campaigned against Steph. I didn't even really campaign against Cly. I just tried to work those relationships that I had made and move forward. And some people might think, "Oh, okay, why do you deserve to win? Like, you're here by luck." What I'll say is, like, that's a very clear rule. That's as clear of a rule as any other game rule. Like, Andrew literally every week says, "This is how you have to phrase this vote. I vote to evict blank." And that was week 5. And Kennedy, Rayanne, like, you messed it up. I stayed. And when I started sort of putting 2 and 2 together, and I just want to go back and say that I had already been sort of suspicious. I had reasons to be suspicious of you, Kennedy, and you, Rayanne. The thing that people don't maybe realize is that at the beginning, in the first few weeks, Jenna and I had put our ears in most of the house. And so I'm quite positive that Rayanne told Bridget about the Party People Alliance. I'm quite positive about that. And I knew they were very close. So from about week 3, I don't think I ever fully trusted Rayanne as an alliance member. And Kennedy, I don't like, we didn't really, like, we talked about life and stuff, but we didn't really talk about game much. And, you know, regardless of that vote, I still would have kept the same people close to me moving forward, regardless. And I did. And when I survived that double eviction, I don't think I wasted my time or my opportunity. I gathered the 4 people that I felt the closest to, that I felt were the most loyal to me. And I basically saw a path to final 2, regardless of who won competitions. And it did work out that way. And I, as much as I know it hurt people along the way, I do hope that you see that it was kind of a very strategic and brilliant move that led me here to the final 2. Again, I did not come into this game intending to hurt anyone or betray anyone. And I truly hope that when you're making your decision to cast your vote, that you do so looking at the larger picture. And I really hope all of you can forgive anything that I might have done that might have caused you any kind of hurt. So yeah, I think just the fact that every single week people were saying that, you know, get out Owen, Owen's gonna win, get out Owen, and nobody did after that double eviction is a testament to my social game and is a testament to my ability to win comps. I feel like I had an opposite sort of path to the final two as Michael. I created a situation for myself where I didn't need to win comps to get here. And either you respect that or you don't. I truly love all of you. It has been an absolute honor getting to know you all throughout this process. Whatever you decide to do, I respect it. I really, really hope that I can have your votes at the end of the day. And that's pretty much all I have to say. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Owen. So now I'm going to pass over to the jury. You will each have the chance to, you will have up to 7.5 minutes to either ask a question or make comments to the final two. So Callum, unfortunately, is not with us. He did not leave a statement. So we're just going to bypass Callum. We're going to move on to Bridget, who is not here, but she did leave me a question, which I will ask to Owen and Michael. So the question is, what is something you did that was good for your game, but bad for the members of your alliance? Something good for your game, but bad for the members of your alliance. Anybody?
Sorry, someone just walked up. So something good for my game, but bad for my alliance?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, I'll just use like Bridget as an example, I guess, and just address the alliance I was in with Bridget. So we formed the Paradise Alliance, and in that alliance chat, it was discussed that perhaps Kilby would be the next target. And lo and behold, Kilby puts up 3 of those members of that alliance. And Bridget tells Jenna, and Jenna tells me that she doesn't want to see Kilby go. And then Kilby tells me that he hears from people and I'm planning to get rid of her. So targeting Bridget, and I think the way we targeted her was pretty vicious, but I truly felt like she turned her back on that alliance, and therefore the best move was to use her Pooh Brown power veto against her. And when she won it, I truthfully wanted to help her through it. But after that whole double eviction and everything that happened and everything that I heard, I was just like, I can't be true to this alliance anymore. So yeah.
Okay, thank you, Michael.
While I was in the Paradise Alliance, I really don't think any of us actually considered that a real alliance, considering it was the 4 early birds plus Bridget. And I don't think any of us actually trusted Bridget at any point in that entire chat of it. We kept things from her. We kept things out of that chat. So that was that. My 2 real alliances in the end were the early birds and the family for me. And I think the early birds getting to the end, there really wasn't anything that I did that was bad for the early birds. But in terms of the family, it was the hard decision very early on, right after we formed the family, when I was having a conversation and the whole thing was, what to get to the end, what do you see the boot order being? And like that conversation was, and it turned out to be exactly the same way that the boot order did once the jury started. We had talked about it being Callum, Bridget, Kennedy, Rayanne, and then Javier and Brooke. So I knew very early on that I was going to have to betray a member of the family in order to do that, to get to me to the end. And honestly, Javier, you were at the top of that list for the family just because you were a fierce competitor in competition. I feared you the most in any comp that was coming along. And the same thing with Brooke. Her personal relationships, her skills and everything like that made me worry about keeping her around after Javier had gone. So it was determined earlier, if we were going to make this work, if we were going to make it all the way to the end, I knew who I had to get. And it doesn't diminish the relationship with him, but game wise, cutting Javier and cutting Brooke were the best ways that I was going to get my way to the end. I love you both, but in order to be where I am today, it had to happen that way.
Okay, thank you, Michael, and thank you, Bridget. So, Kennedy, if you're here, you're up next. Oh, Oh, she is here. Surprise, surprise.
Hi. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Cute.
dear.
I just got done working 12 hours. I'm gross. I'm sweaty, but I'm here.
Also, can I give a quick, Michael, you're probably the only person who watches Ascendance Live. Or are you
Me?
up to speed? Yes.
No, I'm not up to date.
Oh, then I won't say anything. Okay.
You can DM me.
You know what
I
I'm
watched
going to
it, but I haven't seen the last one.
say. Okay. That's
You
okay.
probably
I'm
want
not
to
up to
watch
date.
it.
Yeah, it's
It's
good.
a good episode.
Yeah. Okay.
You're watching it.
Kennedy,
Don't spoil
Thank
it, but
you.
you're
Thank you.
watching it.
Thank you.
your 7.5 minutes starts now.
All right. So, obviously, I love you both. I had a very strong game connection with one of you, and I really did try to have a game connection with the other, and it didn't really happen. I have a very strong personal connection with one of you, and the other one, I genuinely, from week one, Owen, when I started talking to you week one, I meant all of that. I really, truly did want to get close to you. Life hit. I got super busy, and I ended up just being bad at keeping up with that. So, like, socially wise, I absolutely adore you. All of our conversations were wonderful. I have no hard feelings about any of that because I know that I'm really bad at talking. And I just wanted to clarify, literally no hate to either of you. I love and adore you both. Michael, I am so fucking proud of you. Like, you did it. We talked about this so much. We were like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Like, standing in the subway when people were messaging, we're like, they have no idea. Like, I am so proud of you and I'm so happy to see you here. I think that this game, I'm going to get emotional. No, I think that this game has gotten us even closer. I mean, one, for the fact that I literally saw you like 3 times while it happened. But we hadn't been able to like play a game together in, I think, a year.
A year.
It was crazy. So, it was great. I know I'm using all my time talking. I'm so sorry, but I feel like everybody expected this. Okay. So I guess I am going to ask each of you, and then I have a statement. Okay. So Owen, what point in the game do you think was like your strongest, your pivotal moment? I turned my game on and I ran.
Yeah. So I think the strongest move I made in the game was immediately following the double eviction. When I reached out to Brooke, Jenna, Michael, and Javier. And I don't know if you all remember this, but I started telling you that I was positive there was a 5-person alliance consisting of the 5 of you. I don't know, I made that up, but I don't know if it was real, but I made that up to sort of pull the people that were closest to me together. I'd been trying to think of a way for a while to pull my allies together, and I saw it and I took it. And truthfully, I think that decision paved the way for me to be here. I truly believe that because of that, there were a lot more scenarios that I was going to make it to the final 2, regardless of who won competitions, than not.
Okay, so you're saying do you think you were kind of at your strongest at the double, and then after the double you kind of ran?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know that you only stayed in the double because Rayanne and I fucked up our votes?
Yes.
Okay, and you still think that you were at your strongest at that point?
What I'm saying is, I think I didn't waste that opportunity to still be in the competition. I think that I could have just blindly continued trying my best, and I truly felt like I stayed, like I didn't feel safe, like I didn't think I was staying that week.
Okay, because you stayed because of 6 words. Yep. We each forgot I and to evict.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. I stayed because both of you made a mistake. Yeah.
Oh, yes. But I just wanted to make sure you were aware of it and kind of how you shifted your game accordingly.
Yeah.
I really don't appreciate the faces. Let's not. I'm talking to Owen. Go ahead, Owen.
So what I'm saying is that that could have been a wasted opportunity. Mm-hmm. Instead, I turned that into getting me to the final 2.
Perfect. Okay. Michael, same question. Kind of what do you think was your strongest, like, I took my game and I ran?
I think that you know this about me, Kennedy. I start on day 1. I never let up for 81 days. And Rayanne's the one that said this in her extra whip. She looked forward to the fact that I said good morning to her every morning, and I checked in with her, and I did that. And I did that with every single person in this game. Every day, everybody got I may have missed once or twice. I'm not sure. I have to go back. My memory's not good. But I have chatted in and I checked in with every single player of this game every day since day one of this game. And that is how I play these games. And I never let up. I start at the beginning and I never let my game up the entire time. And I will say that Owen, that didn't work for me because I already knew that Kennedy was not in an alliance with all those other 5 people. Like she was kind of talking and working, but I knew that they weren't as strong as an alliance as you think they were. You know, my finger was on the pulse of the other part of the house as well. Having that relationship with Kennedy, I think I had a much better sense of what was going on.
I would agree. I gave you a lot of information, and unfortunately,
Thanks,
I
love.
was shit at talking to Owen. I'm so sorry, Owen. Oh,
I've missed you.
oh, I've missed. We could talk again. I'm so excited. Oh, Andrew, how much time do I have?
2.5 minutes.
Oh my God, I can talk for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, great. I thought you were running out of time. So I can also
was
say.
too. I was like, oh my God, I hope I'm not like taking. Okay, this is cute. So I always like ask a question where you like close your eyes and raise your hand. I'm not gonna do that just because I feel like that's wasting time. Do either of you have questions for me as a juror? Because right now we're all asking you questions. And so if you want to be set up for something that you think is coming your way or something, just if you have any questions. If you don't, I can come up with something else.
No, I got one for you,
Yeah.
Kennedy. I'm always open for feedback and self-reflection.
Mhm.
You knowing me as well as you do, what do you think was my biggest mistake in this game?
Ooh. I think that your biggest mistake was I don't think it's necessarily a huge one, but I think kind of letting your relationship with Callum slip a little bit. I don't necessarily think it was really your fault. I think either that or not talking more with Kilby. Because I think because I was so close with Kilby, I think Kilby could have been really beneficial. But I do think that was kind of both people at fault because I know you had tried and he just wasn't really feeling it, and I had Kilby, so I was like, well, I'm okay with you
Yeah,
not having him.
you and I had this conversation as I tried
Yep.
to have a conversation, but like talking to Kilby is talking to some like finance bro where it was all like, sup, how you
And
doing,
I love
bro?
that. I love Kilby.
and with me, that's like, let me just slam a door in your face because that's not the kind of person that I can deal talking with.
Mhm,
So
and
like
not how you communicate.
I did try with Kilby, but
Yeah.
it was not that we had separate communication styles.
Mhm.
And Callum and I have I try and talk to Callum as much as possible, but Callum's Callum.
Yeah,
And
and I
I love
think
him
it
to
was
death.
more Callum seeing that you were in power and wanting to take a shot, and you were able to shut that down by kind of singling him out, and you ended up taking him out for it. So I think that was good. Owen, do you have any questions?
10 seconds, but yeah, go.
I have 10 seconds. Oh my God, anything you want, Owen, go.
all I'll say is that like I love you dearly. Getting to know you is an
Yes.
absolute pleasure.
You too.
Like everything that happened in the game means nothing. I really wish you could have played Backyard Big Brother. I don't know if you scrolled down through that Facebook group, but you would have seen how Jenna and I know each other if you had.
I didn't, but I should have. But I'm back
She
in
barely
Minnesota,
watches the
so I'm not
episodes.
I'm not in
I know.
Rochester right now.
Yeah, but I just want
Oh.
like whatever happens, I fucking love you and it was a treasure.
Yes, you too. It was so great meeting you.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Kennedy.
Much love to you both. Mwah. I'm gonna go off camera just because I have to like change and shit. So if my camera's on and you can see me changing, someone yell. Thank you.
Okay, deal. Okay, we're gonna move on to Rayanne, who submitted. She did submit a question, but then she also said she might pop on. So let's leave her till the end. Javier, you're up next. You have 7.5 minutes.
Okay, I'm not at all prepared. I was not prepared to hear what I'm hearing. I think that both of your games are very similar, but somewhat opposite. I just cannot explain, but Owen, I feel hearing how you describe your game, you were playing the game that I was aiming to as well. Once both alliances I was in were just dead, I always try to bring the people that I was working with together. Two of you being Jen and Owen. I was thinking, oh, how can I bring them together? And you knew each other all the time. So stupid. But I think that something that I don't think you will be able to get over is the fact that you shouldn't be here. You should have been evicted. And Michael, on the other hand, you had to rely on competition wins a lot. I think that you would have been evicted had you not won some of the competitions. So I'm really thinking about who I will vote for. And I don't know if I have questions, but
It's okay if you don't. You don't have to.
no, I guess I could. All right. I will yield the rest of my time to you both so you can think about something that you could tell me that could sway me your way, because right now I had an idea coming in once I saw that Jenna was the third place, and now I'm kind of in the middle again. So think about something that
Can I ask you a question, Javier?
Yeah.
Because I just want to get a
Yeah.
clarification. Because basically, do you think that my entire game is strictly based on my competition skills, and that I had no social game whatsoever? Because that's kind of like I'm just trying to clarify, because that's what it sounded like to me.
No. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize your games, because I think.
Oh, feel free. I'm open to criticism.
Yeah. Now that I hear what you were doing, I'm impressed, because it turns out that I was more clueless. Well, yes, that I thought. Like, but I do.
I wouldn't say
think
that you were. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, something that I said before you joined was that between you and Jenna, in that last part of the final HOH, you had the strongest social games. So it was a toss-up, because the competition was jury statements, and you had to know people. And between the two of you, I had a strongest connection with you than I had with Owen. So I don't think that your social game was bad.
Okay.
But I do think that some of those competitions were clutch.
Absolutely. No, I'll agree with you 100% that I think that I needed to win in a lot of cases.
Yes. Whereas I think that Owen didn't have that.
Yeah, I think that I absolutely needed to win in a lot of those cases. And I think that just points out that I am a bit of a threat to people in the game. So like that people wanted to get rid of me. You know, I truly enjoyed a lot of the things that we shared together. And that's all genuine. I don't care about the rest of the game. Like I genuinely love that relationship. But I do agree that the competitions that I won were necessary in a lot of cases. And that's how I got to where I am, is by winning and by having the relationships that I have.
Yeah, I mean, I love you to death, but I was actively trying to get you out once we got to 5. So
I know.
Yeah, and I know you knew, but still, and well, a shout out to our amazing alliance, right? We can't mention that enough. Well, Owen, what about you? What can you tell me that will just do a click in my head and say, "Oh, yes, this is the rule."
Right. So first of all, I just want to say, like, I felt very close to you all game, but I don't think we ever discussed what our end game plans were beyond you saying that, Michael was the first to target in the final five. And so of all the people in the five, I did feel like you were the one who would take me the least furthest to the end. And I think that's right? Because you probably would have taken Jenna if you had the choice to, right? Like,
well, that's a mistake on my part, because I would think, like, I wouldn't share these things just because I didn't want to make it to the end by and having broken promises.
right.
But my ideal final three would have been you and Jenna.
Right.
And I thought about that when we were the three people left in Eliminator. Like when I saw us in the call, that's what I thought. But I never shared that with you.
Yeah, I don't think I don't think we quite communicated like what our end goals were together. But I always felt like I could trust you, and I hope, I mean, up until what, like, the exploding of the final five, I hope you felt that way too. So I think what I'm sensing is that a lot of people are really hung up on the fact that I'm only here because two people messed up their vote, which is fair. I think that either matters to you or it doesn't, and I'll do my best to convince you otherwise. But I truly believe that, like, philosophically, either you have a problem with that or you don't. All I'll try to counter that with is that, like, that wasn't my mistake. That was someone else's mistake. And did I benefit from it? Yes. Did it use up all the luck I had in the game? I truly believe so, because I did garbage at anything else that involved luck. And once again, as I said to Kennedy, I truly believe that I did not waste that. And even after that happened, it's not like people stopped targeting me whatsoever. Like, my name was in everyone's mouth all the time, every extra whip, like, constantly. You need to get rid of this guy. You need to get rid of this guy. And like, Michael, you played a very strong social game. I don't think we can underplay how strong my social game was either, because that's, I truly think, what protected me. Like, the amount of times that Andrew told me he was shocked I was still in the game after that point, I think is a testament to the relationships that I built in this game, and just the way I planned my moves. I wasn't playing week to week. I was playing chess. I was playing several moves ahead.
Okay. Sorry, Javier is out of time. Sorry, I have to cut you
So
off.
I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you, Javier. Now we are moving on to Brooke.
Hello, boys. How are you?
Fantastic, beautiful.
I'm ready for this, bro.
I'm going to start with Michael because I feel like ours is going to be a little bit shorter than mine and Owen. So, Michael, when I won the final four HOH, I'm realizing now, when I spoke to the two of you about staying off the block, I'd never actually made you guys say you would keep me off the block the following week. So that makes my question. If I had said to you, I will keep you off the block if you keep me off the block next week, would you have lied to me and still put me on the block? Or would you have said I won't and would have cut me off to keep your word?
That's a really good question. I'll be honest with you. Hypothetically, I hope I would have been honest with you, but I can't say that I wouldn't have lied. I made it through this game without really telling any blatant, bald-faced out lies. So I think I would have hoped to have done that. Like, I can't think of a single time that I actually lied to somebody and said, I'm going to do X and did Y. That didn't happen at all during this game. And I'm hoping that I would have had the strength to do that with you at that point as well. But yeah, and when you and I were talking after I put you up and you kept saying that to me over and over again, I didn't want to throw salt in the wounds and say, well, we never had that conversation.
Yeah,
but
I realized it afterwards. I'm like, I thought it was more like I'll keep you off, you keep me off, mutual game move respect. But now, knowing what I know now about your other alliances and stuff, I understand why you did what you did, but I'm still pissed at you.
Yeah, no, I know. And hey, you have perfect reason to be. But I honestly, I hope I would have enough, like, wherewithal to tell you the truth, that I couldn't make that promise. but I can't 100% say I wouldn't have lied. But again, I didn't
Yeah.
lie to anybody bald faced like that at all during this game. So I'm hoping that I would have been able to keep that up and really just been honest with you. Because I feel like you and I had like a completely open, honest relationship in this game. And I love you for that. And I love getting to know you. But I think that's the best answer that I can give you. I hope that's enough.
Okay, well, okay. Owen.
Hi.
Hi. So you made a comment earlier today, and hang on a second. You made a comment earlier today that Ronnie said to you, someone offers you an alliance, you do not take it. I agree with that 100%. Anyone comes with me in alliance. I was only in 3 alliances the whole game. I played it very small, very close to chest because of last season with Karen and Steven. I learned from my mistakes. Karen had told me last season, you find your number 1, you tell them everything, you don't keep secrets, you go right to the end, blah, blah, blah. I had expressed this to you over and over again, that I want to find a ride or die. I want to put my whole game into someone, and I think we could go far. We did this really early on. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have went along with what I'm saying, but there was a lot of points in the game where you could have pulled back, and I could have maybe had a sense of it and had a chance to find someone else who might have been available to go further. So when I made the move that I made by winning that HOH that was crucial to the being the first person at the 5 I didn't want to be, I would have had a chance to go to final 3. I still wouldn't have made it to final 2, even if you had took me over Jenna, but I felt like I deserved to have the chance to play that final 3. So why did you stay so close to me if you had Jenna the entire time?
Okay, so first of all, I do want to say that of all the people in the jury, I do feel like I've wronged you the most. And I don't deny that. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I didn't. And I truly do feel terrible for that. And I do apologize. And I hope that after all this is done, like, again, regardless of who you vote for, regardless of what happens, like, I hope we can remain friends because
it's just a game. It's just a game. I'm not mad at you on a personal level, right. But on a game level, I'm serious.
Yeah. And so some people might not like this answer, and that's okay. But I'm playing my game, right? My game to get to the end. And if I felt like I lost you as a close ally, I would have felt like I lost some safety in the house. And we can see that as a completely selfish thing to do. But from a game perspective, if you were moving on to someone else, I wouldn't have expected you to tell me either. No. Because, like you said, it is a game. And at the end of the day, I planned my path so that I didn't have to win comps, but like, nobody can predict who's going to win which comps. And I wanted to keep you, and again, maybe that's a horrible, selfish thing to say, but I wanted to keep you close because nobody can quite predict how the cards are going to fall. And yeah, that's the honest truth. Either you respect that honesty or you don't. I unfortunately made my alliances with Jenna, Michael, the early birds before we did the party people, before we made a final 2 together, Brooke. And I know I wasn't loyal to you, but at the end of the day, I was loyal to the people that I promised from the beginning that I would be loyal to.
Which is fair, but my counter argument to that is based off gameplay. Besides socially, everyone played great socially, but when I won, I always assured you safety. When I talked to you about working with you, I was always all in. There was some point of, you knew 100% I was taking you to the final 2. So if you knew I could win comps, why didn't you bring me to the final 3? So that way, I know you went either way because you set yourself up that way, but I felt like because I won the last HOH, I deserved a chance to at least try to go to 3. So why were you more loyal to your alliance members, even though I have been your alliance member for just as long, just a little bit after I just pulled a W and kept you safe during a crucial week that if I put you up, you definitely would have gone home. Why didn't you just give me the chance to lose with an HOH and I had to go out without a chance to save myself?
I don't think I'm going to be able to give you the answer that you want. All I can say is that everybody here really wants to be here. everybody here really wants to win and everybody is playing their fucking heart out. And you did do that. Absolutely. And I apologize that I'm the reason that your game came to an end. But at the end of the day, I did decide to do what I thought was best for my game. And it wasn't what was best for yours. And I hope you can understand.
Why wasn't I best for your game when I played this whole game with you? Why did you risk losing my jury vote rather than sending Jenna out, who you know personally? If you had got Jenna out last week and kept me here, I wouldn't have been as bitter if I lost the HOH on my own. But you're the sole reason I got evicted last week because I couldn't save myself with the veto and I couldn't play HOH. So why would you risk my jury vote when you could have probably persuaded Jenna, because you're friends anyways, to vote for you? Okay. In the mailbox.
Our mailbox or
No.
just not in?
Sorry.
Like I said, I think what I did, you're taking very personally, and that, which is totally valid. I totally respect that. I don't, as I said, I stayed loyal to the person that I promised to first, and I'm really sorry that that wasn't you. Like you said, Karen told you to find a ride or die. I think ultimately you picked the wrong person. You shouldn't have picked me. And if I lose your jury vote, I fully respect that because I know I hurt your feelings. I really hope that you can step back and look at things from a game perspective and not on a personal level. And if that's how you choose to vote, I fully 100% respect that. But I don't think I'm going to be able to give you an answer that's going to really answer what you're asking. And that's kind of how I feel.
So you evicted me because.
Sorry, that was seven. That was actually 8.5 minutes. I gave you another minute. I'm sorry, Brooke.
All good. Good luck, guys. I'm proud of you both. I really am. You both deserve to be there.
Thank you.
I love you, Brooke.
And
I love you
I
too.
love you both.
Jenna.
All right. So.
Long time no see.
What's good, buddy? I'll react the way I react and I'll say what I want to say. And like, we'll go into this question, right? Exactly. So for me, I guess the question is, since like Backyard Big Brother, you've played Backyard Big Brother, you've played all the orgs that you have played. Question that I have, within all of those things, within all those different establishments that you've played in, what have you done differently in this game compared to other ones that you have played? Have you done anything differently? Have you done like almost the same kind of game that you've done before? Like, I guess that's a question, because like, why not?
Big question for both of us?
Yeah, no, that's a question for both of you. Yeah, that's a question.
Okay. Do you want me to start, Michael, or do you want to start?
Sure, go ahead.
Sure. Okay. So, I mean, I've only ever played Backyard Big Brother, and it's a very different game. It starts with 9 people, so you're already starting at the jury point. And this game, you start at 16. You have to play out the first phase of the game, and that was a very new thing to me. But my top priority from the very beginning was form relationships. And one thing that I learned from Backyard Big Brother is that you can't put all of your eggs in one alliance basket, because you never know what's going to happen, especially in this kind of game where there is such a long phase 1 to it, that anything can happen. Like, the people you attach yourself to could get eliminated. Like that double eviction, 2 of our early birds almost went, right? Like, if it hadn't have been for that mistake, it would have been Steph and me. And so my top priority was to make genuine relationships from the beginning, but then also be open to the change that happens as the game progresses. And I really think I did do that. So yeah, it's hard to say what I might have done differently, because I don't really have much to compare it to. I feel like every time I've played that has been the same. I have thrown myself 100% into it. I have never not tried my hardest. I'm very competitive. I play hard. Some people might not like that, and that's okay. But I think ultimately I've learned a lot about myself through this process. And that's just to be confident in the choices that you're about to make. Because this game is full of hard choices, and you have to be ready to take them, and you have to be prepared for the consequences. And like I said earlier, I feel like if anyone here, I do feel like I've taken the most heat from other players. I feel like I've had my game blown up the most. I feel like I've been targeted a lot by people just in terms of being a threat. And I learned that I have the patience and I have the, I have the patience to take all that and use it to get ahead in the game. So I hope that helps.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Excuse me. So for me, this game is so different than any other game that I've played because most of like live games are either 1 day, 3 day, or 5 day game. So much more consolidated. Most other orgs are half the amount of time that we spend in here. So I had the opportunity to develop relationships. This is the first game that I have ever played where the alliance that I set at the beginning made it all the way to the end.
Hey.
Yeah, usually it's picked off or like the game I played with Andrew, my alliance blew up like on me the minute Andrew left. Like I wasn't in an alliance with Andrew, but the people that I was playing with, they turned on me the minute they could after the thing. I'm used to people wanting to stab me in the back. Now, I only made one final two in this game. I know that with Owen, he's the only person I promised a final two with. So I got to play the game that I ultimately want to play with a person that I pick that I'm going to go all the way to the end with. I don't normally get that opportunity because other alliance members get picked off, or I'm in a position where my entire alliance is gone and I'm literally fighting my way to the end, which is the same thing that happened here. And Javier really pointed that out. Like people really did want me gone at other points in the game. And I just kept fighting. I never gave up, but I was able to stay loyal to you. I was able to stay loyal to Owen all the way to the end, which is the decision that we made on day 2 of this game 80 days ago. And we were able to hold it together. I'm not saying that I'm the only person responsible. All 3 of us were responsible for the 3 of us getting here, and we hold that together. But that's the game that I got to play. I got to pick the right people right at the beginning, and I got to spend the last 80 days getting to know everybody that's here, but really diving deep. You know, Jenna, you and I have cried together. Owen, you and I have laughed together. You know, but I got to play I got to play the what I would consider my perfect game. I got my social game was on point. My competition game was on point. My strategic game was on point. My strategic game also lined up specifically with what my alliance members wanted. You know, when we talked about who we needed to go and when, all 3 of us were always on the same page with that. So decisions that about why everybody was there, none of us can take credit for any single one of them specifically, but we can be part of that conversation. So I got to play what I would consider my perfect game.
Cool. Oh, 1 second. I just want to say one thing.
Yeah.
Like it was great playing with you all, and I thought it was amazing. I will say that some of you org people can be really fucking mean, and some of you need to fix your face sometimes. And some of the shit that you say in the Facebook group can be really fucking muddy and really fucking rude. So just remember that. Stop being so fucking crusty. And that's all I need to say.
Love you, Jenna.
Thank you, Kat. I mean, Jenna. So, you're good, Jenna?
Oh, I'm 100%
Okay.
good.
All right. So we're going to move on to, so now we're going to go back to Rayanne. Rayanne clearly wasn't here. So I'm going to just read her question, which was, where are we? Crap, sorry. I'm Ran, and I'm screaming into the void. First of all, congratulations to you two cutie pies. I'm super proud of y'all for bringing Lucifer vibes to our Big Brother Cheesecake 7 Chocolate Heaven house. My question is a pretty simple one. In my opinion, no one ever plays a perfect game, and there are moments we make mistakes or lose control of the game. So I'm wondering, what was your lowest moment or biggest mistake within the game, and how did you recover from it? My vote is pretty up in the air. There is a lot of this game that I don't know of, so I'm excited to hear all of your answers. They really matter to me, so please lay it all out on the table. Lastly, thank you, Andrew, for hosting this wacky game. From Applegate to Votegate to counting 2,500 plus sprinkles in a chocolate cup, this game was a blast. 25,000. Anyway, Owen, do you want to? It doesn't matter to me.
I'll go first. Owen has had a tendency to have to take the bullet first on a lot of these.
Okay.
I'll go first for this. Let's see. What was my biggest mistake? Answering the phone when Andrew called? No, I'm kidding. I love you, Andrew. No, I think that, and I don't know if this was part of the recording or not that went out or not. I think my lowest point was actually 2 days ago. I had a big spiral down after Andrew opened his mouth and just couldn't shut up about how close Owen and Jenna was. You know, I've had when I play these games, I usually have a lot more paranoid moments, but I only had like 2 real big paranoid moments in this game. And I let them cloud my judgment. And I was actually lucky to be able to fix that before I made my final decision in the end. Because after what Andrew said, if we hadn't fixed things, Owen, Jenna would probably be sitting beside me right now, you know. But although I know now that that's not necessarily the truth, what you said to me, but um, so we'll figure that out at some point. But all that matters is that we're here now in the end. I feel like, and Ran, I'm sure that you're watching this and you just heard me talk to Jenna how I got to play what I figure is my perfect game. It's not perfect, but it's the game that I wanted to play. I'm sure that people will be able to happily like nitpick it apart and tell me the mistakes that I made. But in the end, I have zero regrets about anything that I did in this game. I own everything that I did 100%. And I am lucky to have spent the last 80 something days with 15 other beautiful people. Well, actually, let me check that. 15, 30, 14, sorry, 13 beautiful people because Shawnee and Clyde, who the fuck? But all you other wonderful people that are in this game. And all I can say is in parting is that I feel comfortable with what I did. I don't know that I would go back and change anything.
Okay, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, so yes, Michael, I could tell you were spiraling, and I just want to quickly say that I don't believe that what I said was a lie, because at the time I was 100% certain that you had beat me in that competition, and I was 100% certain in what I said that I thought you were going to be here on the block. And what I said didn't necessarily, I didn't say I thought you'd be on the block sitting next to me. I said I thought you'd be on the block because I legitimately thought you would, or not on the block. You know what I mean? Up on the.
No, I mean, I'm sorry. Let me just clarify. I meant that lie that.
No,
like,
no, I know.
I was your final chip.
Yeah, and truthfully, I said it. I said it, and I do mean it. If I had been in a position to choose between you and Jenna, I do think I would have had a difficult decision. I think at the beginning of the season, Jenna, like for the sake of transparency, like at the beginning of the season, Jenna, it was you, but through what we had, how far we made it, it would have been a difficult decision. So I think the double-edged sword of my first HOH was that I formed a lot of relationships, and what ends up happening is you form. There's a risk of too many relationships coming to bite you in the butt. I think we saw that with Ronnie. Ronnie was exposed to be working with so many people that it bit him in the butt. And I had to reconcile with the fact that because of that, because I felt so close to so many people, I knew that as the game got closer and closer to the end, if I wanted to make it to the end, I was going to have to make moves against people who I felt very close to personally. And I think anyone who's played an org, anyone who's made it far in an org knows that that is a hard decision to make. And each time that I found myself in that position, especially once the family was the final five, it was very hard for me to do so. And I recognize that that might be the reason why I don't get jury votes. But at the end of the day, I really do feel like the game that I played, the decisions I made, the way I leveraged information that was brought to me, the way I handled potentially emotionally explosive things, like when Kilby blew up my game with Jenna in the group chat, and you know all of his friends were posting in the org chat, and that was a lot. That was very rough. But through all of that, I kept my cool, and I really do think that I played a great game. And then I really hope that when you're voting, you can see that and look past the very difficult decisions that I did make against some.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the jury has now made their statements and their comments and their questions, and now I turn it back one last time to Owen and Michael. You kind of both gave kind of closing-ish statements there, but if you want to add anything, you have up to 5 minutes if you wish to use it. Michael went first, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So now Owen will be going first.
Okay. Yeah, so I just want to start off by thanking all of you. Thank you, Michael, for taking me to the final two. Thank you for your friendship throughout all of this. Thank you for your support. You were there for me quite a lot. The same can be said for Jenna. Jenna, you got me through a lot of stuff in this competition. Brooke, I think she might have left, but Brooke did as well. She was there for me. Javier, you had my back. I thought you were so funny and so smart that it was very scary, and that played a big role into why I went with what happened in that round. I mean, I wish Rayanne was here, because Rayanne is one of the funniest people that I've gotten to know. The way she was taking the piss out of Steven when Steven was in the house in the group chat, I really wish a light had been shown on that more, because it had me cackling. Kennedy, you are a powerhouse. Like I'm sure you realize it, but I don't even think you realize it. Like, you are such an incredible person, and like such an enigma of a human, and I can't believe you're 20. Bridget, I also wish was here, because I do feel like I got to know her pretty well throughout this, and that I really would have liked to have spoken to her face to face. I think she played a masterful social game. And then Callum, I really think it should be mentioned that a lot of us saw him as not playing the game. I saw it as him being 8 hours ahead. And most of the time when we were doing competitions, it was 4 a.m. for him. And yet he still showed up. He still tried when he could. And though we didn't talk very much, I thought he was a really funny person. The best part about this whole org experience has been getting to know all of you, and everyone not in the jury too. Like beyond, like Steph is a queen, like Tom is hilarious. Ronnie, even, like, I know I was anti-Ronnie, but in life I'm not anti-Ronnie. But those relationships aside, it all comes down, it's a game. And the point of the game is to get to the end and get the most amount of votes. I got myself to the end. It's very possible that I haven't gotten myself the votes, which is why I just want to emphasize again, please, I wish for you to just step back, take a look at my journey through this. It was hard. it was constantly at the forefront. I had targets painted on my back, on my nipples, on my front, on my crotch, on my face, everywhere, almost from the very beginning. And I pulled myself through that with the help of all of you. That's for certain. But I put the work in. I said hello to everyone too. I really did on a daily basis. And I won comps. I won 5 comps, not 7. Michael, you're a beast, like 7 comps. But once again, I created a path for myself where I didn't need to win comps. And either you see that as a strength or you don't. But ultimately, I feel like my game balanced strategy, my game balanced relationships, and my game balanced comps. So I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for playing with me this season. I don't think I'm ever going to play an org again. This was a lot, but I'm really glad I played this one. It's a lot. I might have given myself an ulcer through it. It's all good. But yeah, it's been a blast. Whatever you decide to do, I respect it 100%. I hope we can all continue to be friends after this. Yay, kumbaya. But I truly do mean that, because you're all amazing humans, and I've had a blast. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Okay. Thank you, Owen and Michael.
So I think I hit all my pillars. I've talked about this already. I hit the social game. I hit the physical game. I hit the strategic game in this game. I know that Big Brother, like in general, is really more about your social game in the end. This isn't Survivor where you have to do the rest of it, but it really does come into play here too. I think that having to win comps, people were going to come for me. People were worried about me making it this far, and winning those comps is what got me to this point. Final 4, final 3, those were strategic wins that I needed to get here. Andrew may have been a little over dramatic about needing to win at the final 3, but it was a true statement. Jenna wouldn't have taken me, and Owen would have had a very difficult choice. So if I wanted to be here, if I wanted to make my first final and finally get my chance to tell a story to a jury, I had to win. I made relationships with everybody that really actually played this game. There's an open invite for anybody that wants to come and visit me in New York. You got a place to stay. I love you all. Personally, this is the cast that I'm going to take the most new relationships away from in the end. Like, there is not a single person that I wouldn't sit down with a drink with. Even clients, Shawnee. I'd love to actually get a chance to know them. Our 2 ghost players in the end. What I've really missed in the last couple of weeks is getting to talk to the members of the jury. Callum and Kennedy are very important friends of mine outside of this game, and not getting to talk to them the last couple of weeks has hurt, especially with like what Kennedy's been going through. And Bridget and Rayanne, Javier, Brooke, Jenna, Owen, I love all of you. You're all just amazing human beings, and I'm glad to be here. But I do think in the end that I deserve your votes. I think that I played the game. I think that I, right from day one, had a plan, had a strategy, executed it. I was lucky enough to find the 2 people that I could go to the end with, and they managed to stay around for that. I didn't have to scramble a lot, because I made the right relationships as we went along. I made them with Jenna and Owen. I layered in Javier and Brooke, and then even outside of that, Kennedy and Callum. I knew they were in my corner as well. I made it with the people that I wanted to play with in the end, and I played a damn good game. Thank you, Andrew, for putting this nightmare together. I have loved every single minute of it. I will recruit for you for season 8, depending on what it is. You tell me what it is, and I will get applications for you, because I would love to have to see you actually make a choice and not have to scrounge for 16 players, because this is a fucking amazing game. People will balk at the 85 days, but it is worth every minute of this game. So thank you, Andrew, for this. Thank you to this amazing cast. Brazil, I'm doing my damnedest. I'm going to try, girl. So, when I sent you a friend request, it'd be nice for you to respond, Brazil.
I accepted it. I thought I did. I swear I did.
So, I love you all. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me, listen to my story, and I hope you'll really reward me by considering giving me your vote. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. So other than so, so there's
Javier.
only so now the final two
They
have done
had to
everything
be.
they possibly can, and now the power shifts back to the jury. That's it. Does anybody know what that sound means?
Yeah, the twist. Why?
Pink
Oh, good.
Panther. Oh.
Was
Okay.
there a reset button? Game restarts?
No.
Oh my God, does the jury have a chance to win? Am I coming back?
No, that I only get that privilege between our friendship. So, so not quite a twist, but Brazil and Nicole have an announcement they would like to make.
Yes, so this will be our last season doing Extra Whip. As everybody knows, I have a baby coming October 12th, but I think she'll be here sooner. And I'm already exhausted. It's been hard to try to keep up anyway. I've been trying to support Andrew and everything. So I think that someone who really wants to be in here and can really focus and really help Andrew out really deserves a spot here. And I'll be a backup if needed and I can handle it. But yeah, you guys have been so awesome to watch and experience the last Extra Whip with, and thanks for being patient as I haven't been as involved as I would have wanted to be, but you know, we love Andrew, so you do it. And congratulations to the final two. Michael, if you win, I'll be extremely happy. I just want Owen to win too, because he's on my team. But either way, I'll be happy for both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess, well, I'm starting my master's program in like 2 weeks. So, and I'm moving across the country to Michigan to be with my boyfriend. So kind of going through some big life changes, but thank you all for being so great. Some people say it was boring. Personally, it was my favorite season to watch.
Who said that? What? Who said you're boring?
No, like this season's boring, but I don't think it was. I genuinely enjoyed it, even though a lot of the twists didn't come to fruition, but it was still fun to watch and see people scramble. And yeah, you guys were really fun to watch, and thanks for being a part of Extra Whip.
Did the person with the steal a vote ever reveal themselves? I just had a brain fart.
No.
I know who it is.
Oh.
Was it you,
Okay.
Jenna?
It was Javier.
It was
I
Javier.
did it. I had it still a vote.
So yeah, that was the only. I think that was the only power that was unknown, right? And the hidden immunity. Nobody found that. Whoops.
Right.
But I'll be eating that again in a couple of weeks on Voyager of the Seas at Chops Grill.
Andrew,
She's not looking impressed right now. She's not happy.
Andrew, how are you gonna do casting for Extra Whip hosts?
Oh, sorry. So I was getting to that. So any alumni from season 1 through 7 is more than welcome to contact me if they wish to be the official Extra Whip person.
And if you don't put me in as a substitute, I'll be upset, because I could do every other week. Just every week is too much.
Yeah, that's one caveat that you need to know, is that you need to be I give the evicted person. I want to give the evicted person the option of Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday night. So you need to be available all 3 of those. It's only going to be one, but you need to be available Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, so that the evicted housekeepers can pick whatever they want. Because this season we really had to basically give people times because we had scheduling issues, whereas I'd like to give people 3 options. But Brazil, Nicole, I'm gonna miss you. I love having Extra Whip with you. Are the first official Extra Whip people, because we don't need to say what happened. There was an after show before with someone who shall remain nameless, and it kind of ended in a fiery inferno. And so anyway, so
Just another All-Stars moment.
yeah, no, not Steven. Okay.
Andrew, I was gonna, since there's only 4 jury members here, if they could keep it under 10 seconds or less. I just had one question for the jury that's here.
Sure.
If you guys, it doesn't matter who goes first, but what is the most important thing to you when you're gonna cast your vote? Is it strategy? Is it competition wins? Is it social game? So under 10 words or less, just to keep this kind of short and not repetitive. But
Brooke?
I can go first.
Go ahead.
for me, it's who represents Andrew's game the most, the best.
Anybody else?
I'll go. Sorry. And I think this doesn't really describe either of you, but I like people, or it doesn't describe either of you distinctly. I think it describes both of you. I like people who play like me. So if I could see me playing your game and it's like this flashy, like strategic, well thought out, like I like people who play like me.
Javier, Jenna.
Yeah.
Can I go? Or,
Yeah,
I think
sure.
it's-
Go first, go first.
I think this is the first time ever since I've been playing orcs that I have like a really hard decision on my hands because I don't know who I'm going to go for. But I guess like, yeah, I will have to consider everything that I heard here, and I think that it comes down to who adapted the most.
And Jenna?
Every single piece. Strategy, socials, heart, all of it. Gut, instinct, all of it. 100%. And you both did it, but it's gonna be hard.
Should we do one last thing? Yeah, one last thing before I go. I know we went on really, really long. I tried to make it shorter and I failed. Should we do the eye closed raising hand exercise? Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, Michael doesn't like it, so we'll do it. So Owen, Michael, I need you to both close your eyes. And I'm going to read the names of these 7 jurors one at a time, and you need to raise your hand if you think, oh, look on Owen's face. If you think you're going to get that person's vote.
Oh, no. I don't
Yeah.
want to do this.
To watch the episode.
Just close your eyes and let's get this over with.
Yeah. Here we go. Callum. Bridget. Kennedy. Rayanne. Javier. Brooke. And Jenna. Okay. All right. Thank you. That was about what I expected. I think no big shocks there. But anyway, so the final 2 have made their cases. The power now goes to the jury. We did this really early this season. So jury, we're voting on Monday. So you have the weekend, in case you're not sure. You have the whole weekend to think about it. You can watch this back. You can watch whatever you want back. You have, yes, Kennedy?
Oh my God, finish your sentence.
Oh,
Finish your thing.
You have the whole weekend to think about. No, because I was about to go into the goodbye. So say what you want to ask your
Oh,
question.
can we talk to them again?
Yes. Did I
Mhm.
say that you can't talk, period? Because I could have sworn I said game chat or live chat is allowed.
Well,
I just
do your
assumed
goodbyes.
it's like no talking once. You know.
Yeah, same thing.
But yeah, now, yes, you can talk about anything you like at this point now. Okay. So, with that said, tomorrow the jurors cast their votes for the winner of Big Brother Cheesecake 7 Chocolate Heaven, and we find out what's in store for season 8. And Wednesday is the season finale, where we will crown the winner of Big Brother Cheesecake 7 Chocolate Heaven and award the $700 cash prize. I'm Andrew Chefs Moonves. Take care, and remember, Owen is